coming up November 6th, Eastern Illinois. You will see it right here on Longhorn Network. And key non-conference games with Arkansas and North Carolina coming up as well. And we now welcome in Shaka Smart. I'm now joined by two of my favorite people on set right here.
Oh, you're
That's
good.
why I'm all smiling.
You're so
I'm serious,
good,
man. You don't hear me say that all the time.
So good.
You know it's true. Shaka, coming into this year, how much clarity is there in terms of who this team will be compared to the 3 previous years?
I think a lot more clarity than we've had the last couple years. For our guys, we've got a good group of core returning players that went through the wars last year in Big 12 plays, had a lot of thrilling victories, had some agony of defeat as well, some very, very close games that went both ways. And we believe that it's a group of guys that can really build on that, come together, bring the new guys with them, and do something special this year.
Coach Smart, with the absence of the, let's say, the A-level, high-level guys like a Jared Allen or Mo Bamba, for me, at least anecdotally, I've heard grit and grind a lot this year. Now, is that me, or is there a new genre for the team? I just don't remember hearing as much talk about grit and grind in previous seasons.
Well, you mentioned those great freshman bigs. The terrific thing about them is they were great. The tough thing about them is they were freshmen. And anytime with new guys, there's always a learning curve, particularly early in the year, you know, before you really get used to playing at the highest level. We're fortunate this year that our best players are not freshmen. We've got some good young freshmen that are going to help our team, going to do a lot of good things. But the guys that, when you look at our team, are the key guys, the best guys out there, are returning guys. So that allows us to be a little bit grittier, a little bit grimier, just because they've been through the wars and they understand what it takes.
What do you have to do here in the, let's say, the first quarter of the season to take things to the level that you want? What are the indicators that you're looking for from a coaching standpoint?
It's a great question, Lance, and it's really 2 parts of it. There's what you want to do in terms of results on the floor, and there's also making progress with your process, which your process is not going to be complete until the end of the season. But every game has its own individual results. So the results answer is we want to win a lot of those big games early in the year. You know, we've got some key non-conference matchups even before the calendar turns to December. And then in the month of December, we've got some more. So we want to go compete and win those games, give ourselves a good resume going into Big 12 play. But just as importantly, maybe even more importantly, we want to build our process, build our connectivity as a team, continue to strengthen our habits so that when we do get in those Big 12 wars, those guys can do what it takes to win those games.
And when it comes to the process, Matt Coleman, we just saw there, such a large part of that. It's been fascinating to watch you coach him. And that relationship goes so far back with Matt Coleman, but you've challenged him since day one to take over, to take responsibility, not just of his actions, but the actions of the players around him. Now going into his sophomore year, how would you say he's embracing that?
I think he's embraced it great, but it's one of those things, as Lance knows, you don't just pick up in one day or even one season. You go through peaks and valleys, you learn things, you go through some adversity, you get better from it. A game like Texas Tech on the road where we're up 4 and he's at the foul line shooting 3, he misses all 3, he fouls out, we lose in overtime. He comes back with a renewed just vigor and urgency. He goes to the gym at 3 in the morning to work on his free throws, and then the very next night, he comes out and plays really, really well against Trae Young in Oklahoma. So going into his second year, the key for him is to pull other guys forward with him. He's certainly gotten better with his individual game, his shooting, his ball handling, his use of pick and roll. But more important than that is bringing the Jericho Sims, the Jackson Hayes, the Jace Febris, and taking those guys to the next level.
Coach, I want to build off that because I talked to Matt Coleman and I asked him about his time here and why he came, and he literally pointed to you and says, that man there, I trust him dearly. How, I want to ask you a loaded question, how do you translate that on the basketball court and make that relationship that the two of you have and the trust benefit the team at a higher level and turn that into more victories?
Well, what you want to do, Lance, as you know, is you want to turn that trust between a player and coach into the whole team and the coach. And that's what we're working towards, because we don't necessarily have a whole group that has gotten to that point yet where Matt is. Matt and I have a long-standing relationship. We've spent a lot of time together. But he's the #1 key on our team in terms of getting in guys' heads and making them understand the message from our coaching staff. And so far, he's done a really good job of that. He needs to worry a little bit less about being liked and a little bit more about guys doing whatever it takes.
Coach, are you ready to play some of these freshmen? You got a lot of them that look very promising.
Absolutely. I mean, you know how we are with freshmen. I mean, we're certainly willing to play them. Last year at crunch time of games, sometimes there was 4 freshmen in the game at one time. Hopefully we won't have to play that many at once early in the year here. But I do think it's a group of guys that can come in and contribute. There's a couple of them that just have a phenomenal upside. They're not quite there yet, but it's scary what they're going to be in time.
Biggest story to me, the presence of Andrew Jones. What is it like to see him here smiling and have that energy and that AJ juice back?
Well, it's just great to have him here because you think about where he was in early January and the progress he's made, not only physically, but just, as you mentioned, the look on his face and the ability to enjoy basketball, to be out here with his teammates. He had the temporary setback with his toe, but he'll be back soon. And just to be playing the game that he loves, back in school, working towards his degree, I don't know, it's one of those things that you couldn't really hope for anything better than that in terms of just him being fully healthy and having a smile on his face.
Got to see that smile yesterday for the first time, and that's honestly one of the best things that I've seen in a really, really long time. It is awesome to have Andrew Jones back. Shaka, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.